Well, firstly, thank you very much to Promethean and Cisco, and Education Fast Forward. This is an amazing event to be invited to. Technology really is key to humanity's survival, and here we are using phenomenal technology to interculturally cooperate, which the academics are saying is the key to humanity's survival. So, how incredible to be here! And obviously, thank you very much, for the invitation, Jim. Thank you. So my name is Jeremy Gilley. I'm the founder of Peace One Day, and I really want to just to I've got 10 minutes, and I'll stick to that time. And really just want to tell you why I'm here. And that really began as a young person. I was confused. I was frightened. I didn't really understand what was going on in the world. The starvation, the killing of innocent people. Questions in my mind: is humankind fundamentally evil? Is the destruction of the world inevitable? Should I have children? Is that a responsible thing to do? And I wanted to answer some of those questions. But the only skills that I've got, given that I've got no qualifications, well, actually I've got a D in pottery, but obviously that wasn't going to get me too far. But the only thing that I really knew how to do was to use a film camera, and that's when I decided to make a film about peace. But knowing a little bit about structure, I realised that a film on the subject of peace was going to be very, very difficult, and I needed to really needed to take a journey, and that journey became trying to establish the first ever day of peace, because I was thinking, where does the peace process begin? And so having that idea was the beginning. Could I establish a day of ceasefire and non-violence with a fixed calendar date, the 21st of September? Voted by every head of state in the world. And that journey took me all over the world, every continent of the world, speaking to great individuals like Kofi Annan and His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Amri Musa, Shimon Peres, Nelson Mandela, Mary Robinson, and many, many others, going into areas of conflict, working with humanitarians, but most importantly, speaking with young people. And I spoke in the first few years to about 40,000 young people, and obviously a lot of teachers. And what was most amazing about a day of ceasefire and non-violence, a day of peace with a fixed calendar date, is the teachers were saying to me, this could be a wonderful opportunity, a starting point for young people's actions for a more peaceful world. A day when their dreams and their visions could be realized and seen. And that really inspired me and excited me. And I'm obviously delighted to say that around that period, the British government put the idea forward, along with Costa Rica, to the United Nations General Assembly, and every government in the world, every member state of the United Nations, unanimously adopted the 21st of September as a day of peace. But when that film came out, telling the story of what I've just said to you, I could hear the cynics saying, yeah, but it's just a day of peace. It's symbolism. It's not going to save anybody's lives. Nobody will really stop fighting. And that really worried me, that sense that cynicism kills, in my opinion. I mean, it stops you from doing anything. It immediately stops you from trying to climb that mountain. And so the only thing to really diffuse that is to prove that it can work. And that's why we worked to find a country in the world where we could make it happen. And we chose the most difficult place, Afghanistan, because everybody said it would be impossible there. And I'm delighted that United Nations have supported, and indeed the British government, in making all of that happen. Jude Law came with me. We met absolutely everybody, governments, intergovernments, ISAF, NATO, NGOs, civil society, teachers, doctors. We went on television to say, look, could we make this day work? Would everybody stop fighting, in Afghanistan? And I'm pleased that we received a letter from WHO, where the head of the Mujahideen has said, okay, well, we won't harm any humanitarian workers on that day. And that allowed UNICEF, WHO, and other UN agencies to take over 10,000 vaccinators into areas that you couldn't normally go, and vaccinated 1.4 million children in that first year. So the world has a day of peace, voted by every member state of the United Nations. We've proved categorically now, year after year, that lives are saved on that day. And we've built education materials, which are now being used in 197 countries, around the world, which is obviously, incredible and wonderful. And this year, we decided that because of what we saw happen in Afghanistan, in 2008, the UN said there's a 70% decrease in violence on the day of ceasefire and non-violence. And that 70% decrease in violence fascinated me. And it made me think, well, if you can decrease violence by 70% in the most complex place of the world, then surely we can do that globally. I mean, why not? And that's what this year is all about. The 21st of September, 2012, Peace Day, we want to see the largest reduction of violence ever recorded. We also want to see the largest gathering of individuals in the name of peace, and particularly led by young people and students. I was with Ambassador Brahimi, one of the key negotiators of our world, and I said to him, if you were trying to decrease violence on one given day, by the way, this has never been attempted, so we're all part of an amazing legacy, an amazing journey to see it happen at whatever level we get to this year, because in 2013, we'll obviously climb a little bit further up that mountain of, ceasefire, global ceasefire. And I said to Ambassador Brahimi, what would you do if you're in my position? He said, well, I wouldn't go and talk to government to try and make the ceasefire happen. I would talk to the people. I would talk to young people. I would try to mobilize the youth of this world. Because if we stand together as one in the name of peace and sustainability, then peace will come. Peace is not in the hands of government. For me, fact. For Brahimi, the truth. And so, therefore, the most important thing that I think we can do, is to get that message across, that if we come together, if the individuals of this world come together as one, separate from politics and religion, not more important than either of those things, but as one, then we can lift the level of consciousness around the fundamental issues that we face, which of course is the protection of each other and the protection of our environment. So, that's what, Global Truths 2012 is about. And that's why, Education Fast Forward, this debate, that is happening is absolutely awesome, because, what we really want to see is the youth of this world, standing together. And that's really what's going on, in 2012. And, I urge anybody, that is watching, please visit peaceoneday.org. Become part of the membership, join the Facebook community, follow it on Twitter. But most importantly, even if you don't need to do those things, but most importantly is mark the 21st of September in whatever way you can, particularly in schools. There are free education materials on peaceoneday.org. All you've got to do is register. There's a primary resource for children age 5 to 11, and there's a secondary resource from ages 11 all the way through to 18. And they have a whole series of lesson plans, 21 lesson plans on anti-bullying, conflict resolution, the link between sustainability and peace. This is all about creating tools for young people to be the driving force behind the vision of a united and sustainable world. Because if the youth of our world stood together, then we would see, real big change. So, I'm just very grateful. I might be under 10 minutes. Am I under 10 minutes?
Oh, okay. I think you've got about another 30 seconds.
I've got another 30 seconds. So, I'll just say...
Let's not fight over it.
Yeah, no, really, no. It's just a massive honour. I think I've told you everything that I need to. Please plan your activities for the 21st of September. If we stand together as one, we will create peace one day.